Here are the top stories for today, January 7, 2020. President Duterte calls for coordination over the evacuation of migrant workers in the Middle East. The Presidential Task Force on Media Security hails the arrest of one of the fugitive suspects of the Ampatuan massacre. The government is expected to push through with more flagship projects following the signing of the 2020 national budget. And the famous crater like Holon in South Cotabato is shut down for rehabilitation. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. As tensions continue to brew in the Middle East, President Rodrigo Duterte has ordered to ensure first and foremost the safety of overseas Filipino workers there. To this end, the government is expected to coordinate its evacuation plans to the affected states. More on this from Benj Bondok.
President Rodrigo Duterte has ordered Environment Secretary Roy Cimatu, a former special envoy to the Middle East, to meet with officials of the Gulf states and discuss the Philippines' plan to evacuate Filipino migrant workers there. Duterte's order came as he feared for the imminent danger that Filipino migrant workers might face amid the escalating conflict between the United States and Iran. The president's latest move was made following the death of Qasem Soleimani, top Iranian military commander who was assassinated last week in a drone strike by the US in Baghdad, Iraq. The US action prompted the Iranian government to announce revenge for Soleimani's death. However, Washington threatened to hit 52 Iranian sites in the event that Tehran attacks US citizens or assets. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said Duterte has likewise instructed Presidential Advisor on Overseas Filipino Workers Abdullah Mamao to proceed to Iran and Iraq on Tuesday to deliver the president's special messages to the Iranian and Iraqi governments. He said the messages to Iran and Iraq contained the president's expression of concern over the safety of the Filipinos working in the two host countries and conveyed his urgent desire that no Filipinos be harmed in the course of the ongoing conflicts. The president also directed all concerned state offices to look for ways to ensure the stability of OFWs in the Middle East once they are repatriated to the Philippines. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Benj Bondok.
Authorities have arrested one of 80 suspects in the 2009 Maguindanao massacre who so far remain at large. The Presidential Task Force on Media Security hailed the arrest of Faisal Dimaucom alias Kagi Faisal early Monday morning in Barangay Cabinge, Datu Saudi, Ampatuan, Maguindanao. Lieutenant Colonel Ibrahim Jambiran, chief of the Parang Municipal Police Station, reports that Dimaucom was turned over to Parang Municipal Police Station for documentation. He will be turned over to Quezon City Regional Trial Court Branch 221. PT-FOM's Executive Director Joel C. Egco said the task force will monitor the developments in the ongoing manhunt operations and inform the public on the updates. PNP OIC Archie Gamboa earlier issued a nationwide alert to hunt the remaining suspects. Presidential Communications Operations Office Secretary Martin Andanar, co-chair of the PT-FOMs, assured justice will prevail as seen in the first batch of suspects who were found guilty. And in other news, the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, or PDEA, dismissed Vice President Leni Robredo's report on the drug campaign as a political attack against President Duterte. Robredo, who was appointed as co-chair of the Interagency Committee on Anti-Illegal Drugs, claimed that the crackdown on illegal drugs is a failure because authorities have seized less than 1% of Shabu supply since 2016. PDEA Director General Aaron Aquino on Monday cited how 49.13% of barangays have been cleared of illegal drugs as of 2019. He added the PDEA has seized a total of 45 billion pesos worth of illegal drugs. Meanwhile, 82% of Filipinos are satisfied with the campaign against illegal drugs. For its part, Malacanang dismissed Robredo's report as a dud, stressing that she was only trying to be relevant. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo stressed that Robredo failed to see the drug war's accomplishments, such as having dismantled illegal drug factories, caused the surrender of drug addicts and pushers, and the neutralization of high-value suspects. A Mandaluyong court has stopped the LTFRB order to limit the number of riders working under motorcycle taxi service Angkas. More on this and other news around the metro from Janice Cabe.
The Mandaluyong RTC on Monday handed down a 72-hour temporary restraining order against the LTFRB's order to limit the number of riders for motorcycle taxi service Angkas. The court said 17,000 Angkas riders who have been earlier accredited will suffer grave, irreparable injury as they would lose their jobs. Angkas was likewise ordered to post a 300,000 peso bond by the court. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court has denied with finality a motion for reconsideration on its previous decision junking same-sex marriage petition in the Philippines. The SC denied the suit filed by lawyer Jesus Ricardo M. Falsis III and the LGBTS Christian Church Incorporated against the Civil Registrar General, saying no substantial arguments were presented to warrant the reversal of the decision. In its September 3 verdict, the court said while the Constitution does not restrict marriage on the basis of gender, it underscored the need of formal legislation to allow a more orderly deliberation in assuring rights. In other news, the Philippine government is ensuring full protection of Filipinos in Australia after bushfires raged across the eastern part of the country in the past weeks. Philippine Embassy in Canberra First Secretary and Consul General Ian Caringal said some 300 Filipinos have been evacuated from East Gippsland in Victoria, Australia because of the bushfires. Caringal assured that the Department of Foreign Affairs is ready to repatriate Filipinos living and working in Australia if conditions worsen. Some 300,000 Filipinos are living and working in Australia. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cabe.
Still to come, the government is expected to push through with more flagship projects following the signing of the 2020 national budget. Local government units are ordered to make their processes to put up and renew businesses easier. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
With 7,641 islands, the Philippines will never be short on fun.
Together, even small acts can make a big difference when it comes to preserving our country's treasures.
Let's
Save
our spots.
You can plan a pretty picnic, but remember to keep the park clean. Toss your trash in the right bin.
Photos with locals are cool, so make it a habit to ask for their permission first before snapping that story. Respect for our culture and for our people should always come first.
Leave nothing but footprints and take nothing but selfies, especially when it comes to shells, starfish, and sand.
Crafts and folk art are a large part of our culture. When you buy our products, you help keep our traditions alive.
Remember that whale sharks are wild animals and the water is their world. Respect their personal space. Don't touch, feed, or startle these majestic creatures.
Practice zero-waste principles by the beach. Bring a reusable water bottle and skip single-use plastics.
Even the tiniest piece of plastic can end up inside a marine animal's belly. If you see litter on the beach, pick it up.
These streets were made for walking, so put on your comfiest pair of sneakers. Our heritage sites are best enjoyed on foot.
Help preserve the environment, especially for our sea turtles. Let's follow site rules. Take the parties off the beach so we can leave our nighttime nesters in peace.
All our waste ends up in the water. Break those bad bathroom habits. Reuse your hotel towels, bring your own toiletries, and say no to sachets. We can prevent coral bleaching by using reef-safe sunscreen. Also, a gentle reminder not to touch, kick, or stand on the corals.
Traveling is about exploring places,
Meeting people.
And experiencing things the right way.
When we treat our destinations with respect,
We make sure our future generations
Get to enjoy traveling too.
Let's pledge to be more mindful travelers.
Let's pledge to make our destinations more fun forever.
Let's pledge to save our spots.
Following the signing of the 4.1 trillion peso national budget by President Rodrigo Duterte, the government is expected to push through with its flagship projects. Senator Sonny Angara on Monday said in the last 3 years of the administration, there will be an uptick in the implementation of infrastructure projects which are meant to improve the everyday lives of the people. Based on the new appropriations, education tops the 10 agencies with the highest budget, followed by the Department of Public Works and Highways and the Interior, Defense, and Social Welfare. Angara said the government's idea is to complete as many projects as possible by the time President Duterte ends his term in 2022. Angara said education and social services are also given priority in the 2020 budget. The senator also said the budget also ensures that healthcare professionals such as doctors, nurses, midwives, and dentists will continue to serve the different communities around the country. A palace official on Monday dismissed as truly erroneous a New York Times article which claimed that the Duterte administration has reinforced a monopolistic grip of landowners. In the article published on December 27, 2019, journalist Peter Goodman claimed that the administration has not challenged the grip of landowners to agricultural land. Presidential Communications Operations Office Secretary Martin Andanar said the article presented inaccurate information on the Comprehensive Agrarian Reform Program, or CARP. Andanar said Goodman should know that the administration, through the Department of Agrarian Reform, continues to uphold the welfare of landless farmers. He said the administration continues to ensure that all land distributed to agrarian reform beneficiaries will remain with them and as agricultural lands. He also said the government also provides support services that will help the beneficiaries become self-sufficient and productive. The PCOO chief assured that the Duterte administration will continue to protect the rights of landless farmers beyond what has been done by previous administrations. Malacanang is not alarmed by the inflation rates jumped to 2.5% in December 2019. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said the inflation rate remains within the government's target range of 2 to 4%. Citing a report from the National Economic and Development Authority, or NEDA, Panelo said the increase was brought by the onslaught of typhoons Tisoy and Ursula, which caused food and non-food prices to go up. He said the government's economic managers continue to monitor the movement of inflation. The country's full-year inflation figure is at 2.5%. In our business news, the Anti-Red Tape Authority has called on local government units to ensure efficient and fast processing of business registrations and renewals. ARTA Director General Jeremiah Belhica said some LGUs still ask for redundant requirements for business registrations and renewals. He particularly cited the locational clearance for those operating inside malls is a redundant requirement, as it is clear that a mall is a commercial zone. He added that LGU should speed up processing occupational clearance and fire safety inspection certificates, among others. Through the implementation of the Ease of Doing Business law, the ARTA chief said the country would be able to compete with global economies, especially within the ASEAN community. Senior citizens and persons with disabilities will soon be able to move around easier in Isabella's police camp through a newly launched electronic tricycle service. More on this and other news from the provinces from Joyce Kudis.
The police formally launched an e-trike to be used by senior citizens and persons with disability inside the provincial police camp in Baligatan Village in Ilagan City, Isabela on Monday. Colonel Mariano Rodriguez, Isabela Provincial Police Director, said the 7-seater electric trike would be exclusively used by elderlies and PWDs as well as pregnant women and policemen who need a ride for emergency errands within the camp premises. The e-trike also ensures a safe and comfortable ride through Project Heart or healthy, eco-friendly, and rechargeable transport. In Iloilo, the province is considering an extension of the ban on the entry of hags and pork products from Luzon and other areas identified as positive for African swine fever contamination. Although the province remains to be free of ASF, the Veterinary Office is requesting for updates from the Department of Agriculture, Bureau of Animal Industry to assess the length of the ban extension. The extension is meant to protect the swine industry in the province as there is still no assurance that pork and pork products brought from Luzon are ASF-free. Meanwhile, the Regional Oversight Committee on Barangay Drug Clearing Program has declared 4 barangays as drug-cleared barangays in Zamboanga City. Mayor Maria Isabel Climaco Salazar on Friday signed the resolution of the Regional Oversight Committee declaring the 4 barangays as drug-cleared. The 4 barangays are entitled to a 50,000 peso reward each from the local government as part of the city's support to the anti-illegal drug campaign waged by the national government. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Joyce Kudis.
Up next, the famous crater lake Holon in South Cotabato is shut down for rehabilitation. And a theater group in Pangasinan recognized for their arts advocacy at the Aliw Awards. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Ang 20 piso New Generation Currency Coin. Tampok si Manuel L. Quezon, ang unang Pangulo ng Philippine Commonwealth. Nagsulong ng paggamit ng wikang pambansa, nagbuo ng National Economic Council, at nagsikap na makamit muli ang kalayaan ng Republika ng Pilipinas. Mayroon itong microtext, yearmark, at mintmark na baybayin ng pantig na P. Sa gilid ng barya, nakaukit ang mga titik na BSP sa 6 na anggulo. Sa likod ng barya naman, matatagpuan ang logo ng BSP. Ang Palasyo ng Malacanang, opisyal na tirahan ng Pangulo ng Pilipinas. At ang Nilad, katutubong halaman na pinaniniwalaang pinagmulan ng ngalan ng kabisera ng bansa. Ang Maynila, ang mga hugis bituing bulaklak ng Nilad ay sinasabing dating sagana sa pampang ng Ilog Pasig, kung saan matatagpuan ang Palasyo ng Malacanang, ang 20 piso coin. Bagong denominasyong bahagi ng New Generation Currency Coin Series. Tampok din ang pinahusay na 5 piso. Baryang kayamanan, gamitin at ingatan.
The famed crater lake Holon in Tboli town in South Cotabato, one of the province's top ecotourism destinations, was shut down to tourists for over 2 months starting Monday, January 6 for rehabilitation. Tboli Mayor Ampatuan ordered the temporary closure of the entire lake and its immediate environs until March 14 to allow its ecosystem to recuperate. This is the sixth closure of the lake implemented by the municipal government since it was first shut down for 9 months in 2014. Tuan said they will conduct training and refresher courses for all frontline personnel, rehabilitate the existing facilities, and conduct anew a biodiversity assessment of the site. Lake Holon is nestled at Mount Melebingoy, which is listed as an active volcano. The lake was declared as the cleanest inland body of water in the entire country in 2003 and 2004 and recognized as among the world's top 100 sustainable destinations in 2016 and 2017. In our foreign news, U.S. President Donald Trump threatens to impose unprecedented sanctions on Iraq if Baghdad forces the expulsion of U.S. troops. Trump said the prospective economic penalties would far outweigh the crippling sanctions the U.S. has imposed on Iran. Trump framed his threat of biting sanctions in terms of U.S. military investments in Iraq, referencing in particular an air base the U.S. has helped develop. The warning comes after Iraq's parliament called on the government to oust U.S. troops in retaliation for the assassination of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, the former chief architect of Tehran's regional operations. Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, who bestowed the country's highest honor on Soleimani last year, vowed severe retaliation in response to his killing. Trump also threatened to attack 52 Iranian targets, leading to concerns of committing a war crime under international law should cultural sites be involved. And in sports, Highland Boxing Promotions in La Trinidad Benguet has been named by BoxRec as the Philippines' top promoter of professional boxing for the year 2019. In BoxRec's top 12 list of boxing promoters in the country, Highland owner Brico Santig came on top with 12 promotions and 17 titles. Santig and his partner Darwin Miller staged a successful knockout at the Manila Arena in December 21st, where Carl James Martin took the Philippines Boxing Federation bantamweight title via an impressive win against Philip Luis Cuerdo. Santig, as well as his Highland Boxing Promotions, was named the Boxing Promoter of the Year by the Cafagway Cordillera International Sports Luminary Awards podium during the year-end awards on December 30, 2019. Martin was also named the Professional Boxer of the Year, while his father, Abel Sr., was the Trainer of the Year. Santig is expected to come home this February to help run the Baguio Benguet Educational Athletic League boxing event. The Aliw Awards has honored a theater group from Pangasinan for its efforts to strengthen the province's theater and arts. The group hopes to inspire the youth as it promotes its advocacy. Ruth Abby Gita Carlos has this story.
Tanghalang Sandaang Pulo Cultural Group Incorporated, a non-profit organization helping young people discover their potential in theater, draw inspiration in continuing their advocacy for arts and the youth as they were recognized as 2019's Best Cultural or Theater Group by the Aliw Awards. TSP's founding president Benja Natividad said the group was formed in July 2017 with advocacy to help theater artists, especially the youth, to strengthen the theater and arts in Alaminos City and even in the entire Pangasinan. He said theater is one way to discourage the youth from involving in unlikely peers and vices. Among the group's major productions is the Palanca Award-winning play titled Baka Sakali by Jose Dennis Chodosio. They also perform children's plays in elementary schools in cooperation with the local government of Alaminos City. TSP also conducts free lakbay oral projects and implements an Adopt a School project. It also organizes theater workshops for their performers, and sometimes it is open to the public. Natividad said they hope to gain more support from the Pangasinenses on their fundraising activities. TSP was chosen from among two other theater groups from Mandaluyong, Metro Manila, and Tagbilaran, Bohol. Meanwhile, Regine Velasquez was awarded as Entertainer of the Year and Lea Salonga as the People's Choice. The awarding was held on December 17, 2019 at the Manila Hotel. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Ruth Abby Gita Carlos.
Let's take another look at today's biggest stories. President Duterte calls for coordination over the evacuation of migrant workers in the Middle East. The Presidential Task Force on Media Security hails the arrest of one of the fugitive suspects of the Ampatuan massacre. The government is expected to push through with more flagship projects following the signing of the 2020 national budget. And the famous crater like Holon in South Cotabato is shut down for rehabilitation. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check out more news content, check our webpage or head onto the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also, watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, I am William Theo. Good day.